So let's just talk a little bit. I've got an illustration here. We can talk a little bit about the Maipo Valley, and it's between the foothills of the Andes, excuse me, and the coastal mountain range. And can you talk a little bit about how the ocean and the Andes influences the weather in the Maipo Valley?
Yeah, very, very good question. Very important. Uh, like all the countries, the DO, the appellation in the world is marketing. It's marketing. And for that, never sit down in a table guy. Very expert in soil or climate or nothing. For this, Maipo Valley is starting the limit in the border with Argentina in the Andes, and it's close to finish in the ocean, close to the ocean, the Pacific. For this, in Maipo Valley, we have a lot of different conditions. It's not possible to talk about the Maipo Valley in general. But if you move in Maipo Valley close to the Andes mountains, you have the Piedmont, and normally in this place, sometimes you produce the top Cabernet Sauvignons in Chile. And the climate is very good. Normally you have alluvial terrace, it's a deposit of the rivers, volcanic rock, low organic material, and very well balanced in terms of the wine. In the middle part of the valley, in the central valley, like a central valley, you have more silt on the soil. The climate is depend because if you are in between inside of the hills, maybe you have a very warm climate. But if you are open, it's more cool climate. For this, it depend. Maybe in 1 mile you change. And the carbonate is very good in these places. But if you move more close to the ocean, the white is very good because you have, the Humboldt Current, it's in the Pacific Ocean, and the average of the maximum temperature in the most warm month in Chile is January, is 20 degrees Celsius. For the influence of the ocean, for this, it's very cold.
Which is very cold, which is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yes, that very, very cold. For this, in this area, maybe some white varieties like Sauvignon Blanc, Riesling, and the Pinot is very good. For this, it depends where are you in Maipo, is the condition.
So that's very interesting because we think of Chile as this long, narrow country, and you have all the DOs that go from north to south. But what you're saying is, in effect, because of the mountains and the ocean, Maipo, the DO, really could be 3 or 4 DOs when you go east to west, suitable for Cabernet, Carmenere, white grapes. So it's a different way of thinking about the DO and about what we see. We see a map, and I'm showing a map right now, and Maipo is in purple, and you just think of Maipo as one thing, but in fact, you're telling us that there are different spots for everything.
Yeah, Maipo is a big piece of land. And the other point important is when you see the map, the map of Chile, it's most important. For example, if you want cool climate, it's most important if you are close to the ocean than if you're in the north or in the south, because the people imagine and put in his head, if you are in the south part of Chile, you are more close to the Antarctic, the pole. But if you move in the more north part of Chile, you are more close to the Atacama Desert, the driest desert in the world. For this, if you move to the north, the people imagine it's warm. If you move to the south, it's cold. But it's not real, it depends. Because sometimes you move 700 kilometers south to Santiago, and sometimes it's more warm than Santiago, the capital. Because it's very important, the mesoclimate for the mountains. We have the Chile's coastal range, Coastal range is close to the ocean, Central Valley, and Andes. Coastal range is old mountains, sometimes Jurassic. Flat area, the middle part, normally you have a huge influence of the river, alluvial terrace, like Medoc, like Chateauneuf, like many countries in the world. And the Andes is very steep and it's not easy. We don't have too many projects in the Andes because it's not easy to put vineyards in this place.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit. We had a question here from Great Friend about the soil type where the Sauvignon Blanc for your estate Sauvignon Blanc is grown. And why don't we start by where are the grapes that we're tasting, the grapes that were made into the wines we're tasting today, were they mostly from vineyards relatively close to the winery, or does it stretch from one end of Maipo to the other?
Okay, first question. The soil about the Sauvignon Blanc.
Yes.
Our state, it's a big alluvial terrace. And in terms of geology, it's very important for me. About 15,000 years ago, 17,000 years ago is the last glaciation in Chile. And the Andes, the mountains, the big mountains, is completely with ice. And the rock is volcanic because in Chile we have more than 3,000 volcanoes. And the ice destroys the rocks, and when the weathers change, the rivers take the rocks to the Andes and transport in direction to the ocean. Okay? And produce a big alluvial terrace, round rocks with sand, clay, and silt. In this Sauvignon Blanc, we are in the terrace number 1 of our state. It's more sandy soils. We have a little quantity of clay. Little it's about 8%. It's not too much, 8%. But it's many rocks on the soils. And in terms of a style of the wine, I think it's a little bit different than the cool climate Sauvignon Blancs in Chile, like Casablanca, Lleida, or other valleys, more close to the ocean, and sometimes a little bit peach. But it's very, it's not very green style, and has a very well balanced in terms of acidity than the alcohol. Normally we have 13, 12.5, but a very good acidity. And I think it's the combination in terms of climate and soil in this place produced this wine.
It's a very interesting wine. It has, you say it's not very green, but it has some of the classic Sauvignon Blanc herb character. It's not the grassy, really aggressive New Zealand type. It has almost a little smokiness that maybe comes from the soil, because I know this is 100% stainless steel.
Yes, it is.
And then in the mouth, I checked, this bottle has a label of 13.5%, but the acidity is very bright. It is a very juicy, ripe Sauvignon Blanc, a nice combination of ripeness and nice nervous acid.